to be stood up here today is Damien's best man on such a great occasion, and on behalf of the bridesmaids I'd like to thank Damien for his kind words. I'm sure you'll all agree with me when I say that Caris, you look absolutely stunning today. And Damien, you're a very, very lucky boy. So please could you put your right hand up in the air, nice and tall.
That's your left, that.
Not you, Jack. Caris, nice and high, come on, that's it. Now Caris, could you please put your right hand onto the table? Damien, could you please put your start again. Damien, could you please put your right hand on top of Caris' hand? So your wife's hand. That's it. How does that feel, Damien? Good. Good. Make the most of it, because that's the last time you'll have the upper hand in this marriage. Damien and myself, we first met each other when we were 19 years old. We were young, innocent lads. It was our first day at university. Now I was sat in the common room with the halls of residence, and in walked this good-looking, athletic lad that all the girls were staring at. And then closely behind him, in walked Damien. Now Damien studied German in his first term at university, and Damien was really, really looking forward to his German lecture. And in the first lecture, his tutor, Miss Schumacher, politely asked the class, has anybody got any problems with learning German? Now the class went silent, and Damien stuck up his hand, and he said, yes, Miss Schumacher, we didn't win 2 world wars to have to learn German. It's surprising to hear that Damien didn't pass his German module. Now, when Damien first started university, he was quite a good physique. Now, I hope you don't mind me saying, Damien, that right every time you took a little bit of weight. The trouble was, I didn't know why that was, and then it all became clear. It was on a Friday night, and he was holding her with 2 hands. He had a look of love in his eyes. It was his relationship with Donna Kebab. Now, Damien's always fancied himself as a bit of an entrepreneur, a bit of an Alan Sugar. Prides himself on being Mr. Sugar. And always wheeling and dealing, trying to get himself a better deal. And one of the best deals I saw him pull off at university is when he built a computer and sold it to a poor lad where I used to live with for nearly double the price it was actually worth. So, if you have booked a room for the hotel through Damien tonight, check the prices on the way out. Now, no offence to Damien's and Mrs. Finan, but I was like a mother to Damien at university. I mean, I've seen him drink from a bottle, that's a bottle of Brie. I've seen him stagger, that's stagger from the Students' Union. I've seen him crawl, that's crawl around after a doner kebab on the floor. And I've seen him be sick on my bedroom floor, I'm afraid to say. But Damien's never had a problem with releasing his own wind. Moving on swiftly. One summer at university, Damien, myself and the lads went on a nice little trip for 2 weeks to the remote island of Kos in the Mediterranean. We went there to sample the local culture, the local museums. Day 1 into the trip, Damien wasn't enjoying the local food, and he was heard saying to the waiter, where can I find the local chorley cake shop? Day 2 of the trip, Damien wasn't enjoying the local drink Ouzo, and he was heard saying to the barman, where can I find a nice pint of Boddingtons? The 3rd day, Damien was feeling that homesick and that disorientated that he ended up sleeping on the beach for the night with Rich. Now, we were all really worried where he was, but luckily the local police had found Damien, and he gave him a nudge, and he said, Damien, no, sorry, he didn't say Damien because he didn't know who he was, but he said, excuse me, are you from Chorley? You'd be glad to hear that Damien hasn't ventured far from his beloved Chorley since the trip. Caris, please, please, please promise me you'll look after Damien on the honeymoon trip and make sure he packs the Chorley cakes. Damien's always had a good taste for things, and this was certainly the case with Damien and the family bought the house that myself, Paul and Damien lived in our 2nd year at university. So whilst the rest of the students at Derby lived in squalor, we lived like the Queen but without the corgis. Now Damien absolutely loved his TV at university, and this was certainly the case when I lived with him. Damien was obsessed with 2 programmes. The first being Wings, Now Wings is a programme which used to review every plane possible. And David used to sit there and review all these planes, and he used to drive us up the wall. But Damien also had time for his second favourite programme, and that was darts. That's topless darts, in case you're wondering. When I lived with Damien, trying to deny it now. When I lived with Damien, it was my job. Sorry, it was Damien's job to do the cooking, and my job to go from room to room removing the batteries from the smoke alarms. Damien, I also quickly realised that Damien didn't like his housework. Why? Because he did the beds and did the dishes, and then 6 months later he'd do it all over again.
What did Paul do?
Oh, I don't know about that. Slept in bed all day.
Supervised.
More seriously, whilst living with Damien, I quickly came to realise what a caring individual he was. Recently I've had some serious operations on my eye, and Damien's always been on the other end of the phone, checking how I am and checking if I needed anything, and this meant a great deal to me, so thank you, Damien. Yeah. Now moving on to the stag do, a great time was had by all up in Edinburgh. Now some of the older members of the group were here saying to us youngsters, we'll show you how to party the night away. Unfortunately this wasn't the case, was it, Jim? We were tucked up in bed at the first night by 12 o'clock. The groom asked me to organise a paintballing trip, the stag do trip, and the reason being is Damien's always fancied himself as being a member of the SAS.
Is that why you went?
That's why we went. Now, just before we were about to play Shoot the Stag, Damien quietly, cockily said to me, nobody's going to shoot me. Now, I'm about to show you a t-shirt that Damien was wearing on the day, and we can safely say that Damien hasn't got a chance of having a career within the SAS. Even though Damien's not got a chance of having a career within the SAS, I've always thought he'd make a great governor of the Bank of England. Now you're probably all sat there thinking, why would Damien make a great governor of the Bank of England? Well, I'm sure most of you in this room have heard him talk about his beloved koi carp and his beloved pond. Well, have you never noticed when he starts talking about that, everybody's interest rates just drop? Come on! That was the best joke.
It was clean.
Anyway, to bring